Late Saturday night, American sports lost an icon and a legend. Not just 879 wins and national championships, of course, in his career as the head basketball coach at the University of North Carolina. As we've come to find out, or maybe we already knew in many respects, there was a lot more than just basketball for Dean Smith.
Well, Coach Smith, all of us think that Dean Smith is the greatest coach ever, and we really believe that.
He was a man of some courage because he was willing to take the lead in voicing support for many controversial issues. And it occurred to us that one of the things that had not been integrated during the 60s was the white basketball team.
No school coach had ever asked me to do something personally with them. Coach Smith, talked to me on Saturday and he said to me, do you want to go to church with me on Sunday? And I'm saying I had made official visits at other schools, but the way he looked at me was maybe a little different than the way the other coaches looked at me.
For us to talk about what he did now, seems, well, yeah, man, everybody would do that. Well, no, because everybody didn't do it. In fact, you know what? Nobody did it. And he used his platform to break through barriers.
The first time Coach Smith came to visit me, I guess for the first 30 minutes of the conversation, we didn't talk about basketball. We talked about being a good citizen, race relations, being a good student, family. I mean, just some of everything except basketball. My mom looked at my dad and said, wasn't it nice of North Carolina to send a dean down here to talk to Little Phil?
He's a second father to many of us, to me especially. My parents, coming from Wilmington, North Carolina, which is 3 hours away, basically turned me over to him. And he took me through the basics, just understanding more about people, being respectful, being appreciative of the things that were given to me. And from that day on, I've kind of carried that along.
Coach Smith became the biggest influence on the basketball side of it by far.
But at the same time, he was better off the court. He cared more about people. He did more things for people without them knowing about it.
That's something that a lot of people don't really know, that he really cared for us as people and not as basketball players. I guess we're just lucky that he chose to be a basketball coach.
Well, Coach Smith passed away, of course, on Saturday night at the age of 83. And, Mike, you didn't have to play for the Tar Heels to be impacted by Dean Smith, did you?
No, it was amazing, Wes, that I was recruited by Coach Smith. And, of course, I eventually chose Duke. And not long after, I got a letter from Coach Smith congratulating me, saying he was looking forward to competing against me. I never got a letter from another coach to the school I didn't choose, and that just gives you a snapshot of his character.
Well, his relationships with players, even Mike Krzyzewski noted this week, it's not love they feel for the man, it was reverence. And certainly in his career at Chapel Hill, the relationships with the players, whether you played on that first team in the early 60s or that last team in 1997, you were impacted by the man.
Yeah, and another story, it had been like 20 years since I had seen him and been in the pro game and came back. He remembered my parents' names. He remembered my grandparents' names, everything about me recruiting. And I never played a game for the man. Yeah. He just had an incredible feel for people.
Well, here tonight in Winston-Salem and in arenas all over the ACC, they remembered Dean Smith before tonight's ball game with a moment of silence.